is everybody doing? I just want to thank everybody who was in the room Friday night because we had some fun. We got to know each other and we kicked off the Vision Board Challenge. Does anybody have their big, audacious, hairy goal ready to go in the bullseye of your vision board? In the Sparkle method of vision boarding, we use a dart target or, well, a archery target, whatever target it is you want to use. That is how we do our Sparkle method of vision boarding. And right in the middle is your big, fat, hairy, audacious goal. And I'm going to give you an example of what a big, fat, hairy, audacious goal is. Mine started several years ago. I'm a Toastmaster. Most of you already know that, and if you don't, a Toastmaster is somebody who is in a club or two, or in my case, 6 clubs, where we practice communication and leadership skills. And within this club, I was going to networking events where I met Janet Peterson, who introduced me to doTERRA. I love doTERRA because using these products has completely not only changed my life, but saved my life. And I was so excited about it. I was telling everybody, you should buy some of this because it's just so good. It will help you lose weight, because that's where I started in my path. And then I've come to realize people don't want to be told that they want to lose weight. Go figure. I forgot when I was needing to lose it, I didn't want to be told that I needed to lose weight. But that's a whole nother story. Let's move on to my big, fat, hairy, audacious goal. As I continued my path as a doTERRA wellness advocate, I got up in front of networking groups talking about the products. I gave heartfelt testimonials of everything these products have done for me. And my friend tapped me on the shoulder one day and said, I see you on the big stage of the doTERRA convention. I had no idea what that meant at the time, but I went to convention that year and I realized the big stage at the doTERRA convention is, well, I can't remember the name of the team now because I'm not a basketball fan, but it is a huge arena in Salt Lake City where their team plays basketball. So picture this. This whole basketball arena where professional basketball is played, completely full of doTERRA wellness advocates just like me from all over the world. I'm getting chills thinking about it because the atmosphere in the room was electrifying. And my mind was blown that weekend, learning all about new products and products that I had never used, and really committed me to continuing my journey of wellness. But that's not even where my big, fat, hairy, audacious goal started, because I had to figure a lot of things out first. Although I was a wellness advocate, I was not well. I weighed over 200 pounds. I walked with a limp. I was using asthma medication. I had allergies. Well, I still have allergies, but they are more under control now. To say that I was a wellness advocate and not well myself, well, there's no other way of saying it, but it was an oxymoron. Yet I was the moron because here I was trying to tell people to be like me when I wasn't I was not being the person I needed to be. And that's when my whole journey started of changing myself and becoming healthy. The journey to becoming healthy at this point is not important, but let's just say that I got off all my medication. I got my walk back to the point where I could dance again. I was taking daily walks in nature, and my whole mindset started to shift. And as it shifted, I realized that I had something that I could contribute to the world and help people beyond just saying, oh, these products are so great, you need to buy some. I'm still saying, hey, these products are great and you need to buy some, but they are just a tool. Essential oils are just a tool. Without the right mindset, they don't work. But they will help you build the right mindset. And I'm not here today to sell essential oils, but if you want to buy some, I'll be happy to have that conversation. What I'm here to sell you on is developing your big, fat, hairy, audacious goal. As I became an author, I said to myself, I want to do a keynote at a doTERRA convention. I want to stand on that big stage with people from all over the world hearing me talk. Didn't know what I was going to talk about. Didn't know what was going to get me up there. I just knew I wanted to be there. I knew that to say I had a dream is just putting it mildly. I would say that this was more a vision. This just popped in my head and said, remember when Janet told you that you would be on that stage? It's time to pursue it. You might be asking how I set up my goal. How did I establish my goal? So now I want to ask you, if you have ever established a SMART goal, put something in the comments. Now, a SMART goal is something that's specific, measurable. You know what? I'm drawing a blank right now. Let's just look it up, and you could do this too if you don't know what they are. Of course, in my opinion, it's not that important because, and I will tell you, but a SMART goal, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. Now, go ahead and, if you're watching this in the replay, tell me you're watching the replay and then pop something in the comments saying that I have done a SMART goal, because I have done them in the past. And now I'm going to tell you why I did not make my big, fat, hairy, audacious goal specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Number one, specific. I did know or should I say, the only thing I knew that was specific about this goal was that I wanted to be on that stage. That was it. I knew that I wanted to do a keynote address on that stage. Measurable. Well, I guess that is measurable because it can be measured. I'm either on the stage or I'm not. Achievable. I never, ever, ever thought this goal was achievable, but it was a vision that I had to pursue. Have you ever wanted to do something and just talked yourself out of it saying, I can't do that. There's no way I could do that. I could have said those things to myself, but something inside of me kept saying, no, drive on, keep trying. You could do this. This big, fat, hairy, audacious goal was something I just knew that I had to do, even though I had no idea what I would talk about or how I would get doTERRA to ask me to be on that stage. But I kept working toward it. Now, relevant. Is it relevant? Who knows? I didn't know what I was going to talk about. Is it relevant? Or could that be part of my next ring of my target? With that big, fat, hairy goal in the middle, the next ring could be, how am I going to make myself relevant to get doTERRA to ask me to be on the stage? Or how am I going to sell it to doTERRA that they need me on that stage? Relevance. That is not something that I could put in the goal from the get-go. It's something that I am still figuring out along the journey. And then time-bound. Have you ever set a goal? For instance, one of my goals in the past was to lose 20 pounds. And I said, I will lose 20 pounds in the next 4 months, and then I will feel better. And then I didn't, for whatever reason. Remember, I told you I was not well. Might have ended up in the hospital, or I couldn't walk and exercise, or I just had a pity party and ate all the wrong things that I shouldn't have eaten. But for some reason, I did not lose the 20 pounds I set out to lose in 4 months. This was a time-bound goal. And when I didn't achieve it, I quit. I stopped trying. Now, had I said, my goal is to eat healthy for 4 months and improve my health, then at the end of the 4 months, I could have said, am I feeling better? Have I made positive steps toward my goal? How can I do better in the next 4 months to get healthier? And that's how I shifted my mindset. Instead of setting a goal and setting a time frame that I may not achieve, I set a goal where baby steps and improvement were the measurable indicators of whether I was on the right path to achieve this goal. So now let's talk about my big, fat, hairy, audacious goal. I have this goal in the middle of my target that says, I will do a keynote address at the doTERRA International Convention. Then, on the next ring around the target, the bullseye, I put what I have in place that I could work on to figure out how to make that happen. Toastmasters, improving my communication skills. That's a big one. Learning more about doTERRA. And I continue to do that each and every day. And then, like I said, the relevance. What do I have that's relevant to doTERRA that I could get on the stage and talk about? Well, I'm a veteran. I have experience in change management. And at that time I wasn't an author, but that became my next goal, is to write a book about change management using doTERRA. And I did. That was my first book, How to Start Your Own Personal Change Process. That was not the do-all, end-all, end of my goal. That still did not get me on the doTERRA stage because, quite frankly, that book was kind of boring. It was very clinical. It was very academic. Then, as I kept working on improving my leadership skills and my public speaking skills, and I started promoting my book, trying to get people to start their change processes, and I started my coaching practice, I learned so much more. And believe it or not, I still got healthier while I was doing all of that. And one of the ways I set out to get healthier, one of the ways I set out to improve my mindset is meditation. I took a deep dive into meditation and I tried all kinds of different methods, modalities, guided meditations, and then my friend Charlie asked me to join his group where we did a group guided meditation in person. Wow, what an experience. If you are in Jacksonville, I highly suggest you check out Create Your New Beginnings, where Charlie does his soul travel class. And if you aren't in Jacksonville, I'm going to try to talk Charlie into doing an interview with me so he could tell you all about it, maybe even lead a session right here in the group. So stay tuned for that. But during this meditation, I met this kooky character named Sparkle Feathers. And if you haven't heard about Sparkle Feathers yet, check out in the group. There are some videos of me doing my crazy voices and silly physical comedy talking about Sparkle Feathers. And in another meditation after I met Sparkle Feathers came to me again and said, I needed to write a book that's more fun. And I did. I took that first book about my 6-step process of personal change and I turned it into a fairy tale. If you haven't heard about the 6-step process of personal change yet, that is the 6-step process I used along my journey of change. And I will plop a link in the comments so you could get your free copy of the introduction of the 6-step process of personal change. So be on the lookout for that when I'm done talking. Now, if you are in the video world and watching this in the replay, I would love to hear any comments you have on anything I've said so far. Do you have any questions? Do you have your big fat hairy goal you want to talk about? because it doesn't stop here. Turning my first book into a fairy tale was just the beginning. And then that added the outer ring of my vision board. So in the middle are all the things that I have now that I could use as tools to get me to my bullseye, which is the doTERRA stage. Now, on this outer ring were things that I wanted to explore. And one of those things I put on that outer ring that I wanted to explore happened while I was out promoting the book, The Butterfly That Changed Everything. It was suggested that I needed to write children's books. I'm like, me? But I'm not a parent. I don't have any experience with children at all. But I was told by so many people that what my message is about personal change, self-reflection, and personal growth, and being comfortable in your own skin needs to be learned, practiced, and mastered by children. Wow! I put that there and I started exploring the possibilities. And in my exploration, I wrote a children's book, which will be out very soon. And through that exploration, I have discovered that children need a safe space where they can talk about all the things we talk about as adults. My new mission is, let's grow strong children so we don't have to fix broken adults later. And then was born the Confidence Club for Kids. That is my outer ring that I am discovering how to bring to reality, so I can move it into the center ring of things I have, tools I have that will get me to the bullseye on that doTERRA stage. Can you guess? I'm not even going to tell you in this live video. I want you to guess what it is I'm going to do to be relevant to doTERRA and get on that big stage. So please plop your guesses in the comments, and I will come back tomorrow and let you know the next part of the story. This is Francine Julien, the founder of the Confidence Club for Kids, getting me one step closer to my bullseye. What's your bullseye?